This is Access Ann Arbor.
Hello and welcome back to Autism is Real. My name is Maria Kovari and I am your host for next 30 minutes. I would like to discuss group home and adult foster care home right here in Washtenaw County. And I also would like to talk to you about Washtenaw Community Mental Health and Washtenaw Community Mental Health itself and the way they handle their clientele and consumers' parent. As a parent and a legal guardian of past many years, I want to share with you my own experience with number of staff at Washtenaw Community Mental Health. And since my loved one has been supposedly be under their care, this is my experience that I'm going to share with my viewer. Unfortunately, there are some ongoing problems and a great deal of corruption and lack of interest when it comes to Washtenaw Community Mental Health and their staff. I am sorry to say I find it very difficult to communicate with number of staff both at group home and Washtenaw Community Mental Health, because it was and still is difficult to find someone honest and trustworthy to talk to, as equally is difficult to hold anyone accountable among these people, both at Washtenaw Community Mental Health and among group home staff. When something unusual happened to my loved one or anyone's loved one, staff and the house manager at the group home, among with the staff at Washtenaw Community Mental Health, they lie to the parent and people involved. And they will never provide any kind of incident report and tell the truth, and they always manage to support each other's lies and they get away with it. This is exactly what happened to me as a mother and as a legal guardian. Washtenaw Community Mental Health, with the help of collective number of individuals, managed to challenge my guardianship very successfully. They forbid me to visit my child for past many months. Washtenaw Community Mental Health staff forcefully make me abandon my child. And I'm not the only one. I'm sure they have done this to other parents, and this is their norms. I must tell you, my child is nonverbal, and she is very child-minded for the rest of her life. So this is their norm, as I mentioned earlier, and normally they look down at their consumer and they wrongfully take away their legal right of visitation of consumers' family members. And I'm sorry to say, for what I observe, staff at group home eat lunch, breakfast, dinner, snack of the consumer's food money, which is totally wrong. Group home is not clean. Bathrooms and individual rooms and the kitchen counter is not clean the way it's supposed to be. Staff does not put on a disposable glove in order to prepare food or serve food to their consumers. There are 6 number of consumer per 2 or 1 staff, and this is within 24 hours for what I observe. Few number of staff are smokers, including the house manager and her supervisor. As strange as it looks, staff drinks and beverages loaded with caffeine, food, their snack, their purses is all over the living room and the dining room and so on and so forth, and very accessible to consumer. And I know for a fact my child is not supposed to be a second-hand smoker, due to the fact that some of the staff there smoke, and I saw this with my own eyes when I was religiously involved, going to visit my child and so forth. And when, for example, my loved one or somebody else's loved one is thirsty because of the psych medicine that they are taking, these medicines are so powerful, and if they accidentally pick up the beverage that is loaded with caffeine of any kind, it will conflict with their medicine and will, unfortunately, in my daughter's situation, will leave a very negative impact on her behavior. And of course, she's nonverbal and she's going to have hard time explaining what the caffeine does with the powerful medicine, for example, Paxil or trazodone, which is nerve calming, to relax her and to make her calm down or sleep better or be more content. My conclusion is, if you out there in my community, which is Ann Arbor, Saline area, Dexter, Ypsilanti, in fact, all over Michigan, a state of Michigan, if you happen to be a parent or be a parent and a guardian at the same time, we all know it's not an easy task, but it's a God-given responsibility, and we all want to fulfill this responsibility with love and passion for our children or sibling or whomever that happen to be suffering within the spectrum of autism. We know it's not an easy task, but if you are the one like me, under no circumstances should you give up your guardianship. Just do not give up your guardianship. And even if Washtenaw Community Mental Health staff or a group home staff make your visit to your loved one difficult, or they manipulate you as they did to me, under no circumstances, please do not give up and fight to stand as a mother and be involved as a guardian regardless. I mean Washtenaw Community Mental Health, which is a team anywhere from psychologists, social work, blah, blah, if and when they do their job right. They don't want any parent involved, and the reason being is because they want to do whatever they do to this consumer, even if it's a wrong doing and they want to get away with it. Because if parents or guardian are involved, such as myself, if something happened to my loved one, I will ask why this happened, when did this incident happen, who was a staff in charge, can we do something to prevent that, and so forth. So they don't want any parent or legal guardian involved. So that they can get away with it, and we know that this is not right. I must say though, prior to come here and sit in front of camera, by the way, I'm at CTN Community Television Network. I'm very grateful to them to give me this opportunity as a society or community member, as a resident of past 40 years in Ann Arbor, to come here and share my concern and my knowledge and research with the rest of parents out there in our community, or the rest of Michigan state, the beautiful state of Michigan. I tried so hard to get in touch with the office of Governor Rick Schneider, and this is prior to his re-election. I called the governor's office several times, which is a long distance call on my account. Finally, a young man picked up the phone and he said that you have to provide a letter. So I did send a letter, and then I did a follow-up again via telephone call, and then somebody else told me I have to send an email, kid you not, with the size of this table. Anything in that email was combination of numbers, letter, backslash, a dash, so on and so forth. I successfully sent that email, and again I did a follow-up, and I asked, there was a young lady or some female voice on the other side from Lansing, and I introduced myself. I said, I am Maria Kovari. I send an email, and I want scheduling. I want to sit with governor in front of camera in regard to autism when it comes to group home and adult foster care home right here in Ann Arbor area and within Washtenaw County. Her response was, okay, I spread the word around, but since now, and even though I started way before his re-election, I have not gotten any response. So that's why I am sitting here by myself, and Governor Schneider is here. However, I must tell you strongly, as a parent, I can tell for sure, Governor Rick Schneider has no clue as what is going on in our group home and adult foster care home right here in Ann Arbor area, mostly in Ann Arbor, and God knows maybe in Washtenaw County, I can strongly say lack of awareness, lack of education about autism, and lack of interest for people with this horrible diagnosed disease is forgotten. I mean, we are living in a community that people know about Down syndrome, schizophrenia, God knows so many other diseases, but when you talk about autism, people act like, what are you talking about? Is this vacation? Is this a tree? Is this a book? And finally, one person say, you know what? Autistic people are lucky because they get to live. That's not the kind of life they want. Let me tell you, my friend. They have talent, and they are very much part of our society, and they deserve to have a safe, happy, positive, productive life, just like anybody else in any community. So as a parent, my hands are locked. I feel like I'm chained up. I am against Washtenaw Community Mental Health, any group home, which I can strongly say there are 20 of group home under their care. Legally, every group home should have only 4 consumers per 2 caregivers, and that is not the fact. I saw it with my own eyes. There are 5 to 6 consumers per 1 staff. And somebody please tell me, in our society, is it wise? We are living in a community that when you go to casinos, like Windsor Casino, people are smoke. That place is smoke-free. Hospitals are smoke-free. How could people provide care for people with autism who are under so many strong, heavy-duty psych medicine, and they happen to be a second-hand smoker, like my daughter? And not only this will put a burden in our health insurance, and in long run, it must be much more difficult to provide care for these people. On that note, for my conclusion, I would like to say that if all of us, as a parent and a staff at Community Mental Health, in my case, it happened to be Washtenaw Community Mental Health right here in Ann Arbor, if we work collaboratively together, we share the information, we put the problem on the table, try to brainstorm it, try to resolve it, and without looking down at this consumer, without being judgmental or opinionated about their parents, just do the best you can. And if these people live in an environment that is clean and spotless, they have a good, right, healthy nutrition, good breakfast. For example, I know for a fact that they give cold juice, which is a very sugary juice, out of concentrate juice, with a cup or a bowl of cereal to my daughter. If she eats it at 6 a.m., that's her breakfast, which is not healthy. It's loaded with sugar. Or on empty stomach, she has to start her morning medicine and vitamin, which is not going to work properly because she's on empty stomach. Lunch is half a sandwich. Half of her plate is loaded with potato chip, which is absolutely forbidden. It needs to be healthy breakfast, oatmeal perhaps, with a glass of wholesome milk or lactose-free milk in her case. And I'm sure autistic children out there in our community, whomever is dealing with them, they know that they are suffering from a great deal of allergies. So it's important that their diet will be taken into consideration. In fact, I know that if they have healthy breakfast, healthy lunch, healthy dinner, and healthy snack in between, and clean environment, and be surrounded with kind, caring, positive staff, they would be much happier. They can lead a healthy, safe, productive life for themselves, and they can be content and focused and happy, healthy individual. And guess what? If they're happy, staff would be happy, and everything will work smooth the way it's supposed to be. So as a parent, as a mother, I would like to say, I know it's very difficult because I've been on my own, all the research, all the program that I started and invented, Autism is for Real, it was totally on my own research, my own experience. I did all the legwork, but then again, I'm very grateful to Community Television Network, their staff, and the people behind the camera, people in control room. The fact that as a resident of Ann Arbor, they allow me to come here and share my experience, share my knowledge with whomever is out there, whether you're a caregiver or teacher or a nurse. As long as you're dealing with autism, with individual, believe me, if you receive them well and receive them with open arms and respect them for whomever they are and allow them to express their emotion instead of giving them the dirty look, or just try to understand where they come from, why they are behaving. I normally carry a card in my wallet that it says, if I am in public, for example, like department store or restaurant, for that matter, or airport, if my child starts dancing all of a sudden or starts singing loud, she's not rude. This has nothing to do with rudeness, and parents are very aware of their loved ones and their behavior. Us as a community, as a society, is our job to educate ourselves in order to understand and try to find a place for this individual in our community, in our society, in our heart. We are living at the stage that we know so much about AIDS, so much about schizophrenia, all kind of disease. So it's about time to learn about autism. Please do it. 30-some years ago, it was 1 out of 10,000, mostly boys. 32 years ago, around 1981. I'm sure back then autism were among physicians and neurologists. They knew about autism, but nobody would talk about it. Today, it's amazing. The number, I haven't checked with the computer, but I know is significant. There's so many autistic people out in our community, and you never know when you're sitting in a restaurant, next to the table to you is somebody who's suffering from autism, because autism is a huge spectrum. It's Rett syndrome, it's Asperger, it's oftentimes physicians make a mistake between autism and schizophrenia, and some of the medicine that they prescribe, unfortunately, it is for schizophrenia. And so we just, as a society, need to be more passionate and more understanding about these people. And as a parent, we need to support each other. We need to have one united voice so that we work together and to support each other and to demand a better, safer, cleaner, more positive environment, living environment for our loved ones. At this point, I'd like to take a few minutes and stay tuned. I will be right back. Thank you. Thank you for coming back. I just would like to emphasize in one more point which is quite important. I remember when I was roughly 20 years of age, in 1986, I moved from Houston, Texas after I graduated from university, and I moved here with my daughter. At that point, my daughter was diagnosed with autism, and I did a great deal of research on my own, and I started volunteering at High Point off of Wagner Road, and the classroom was different age of autistic people. So, and as I worked during my work years, I come across a lot of autistic individuals. I come across people who came from abroad, and they wanted to hold presentation on autism. I also, at charter school right here in Ann Arbor, I happened to see one or two students in first and second grade that they were autistic. I don't want to mention name because I'm not allowed. However, I could right away tell that these kids are very loving, very caring, and they require a great deal of attention. If you ask any homeroom teacher if they have autistic student in their classroom, they will tell you how difficult it is for them to teach and stay focused on that autistic individual, whether they are advanced or whether they are in norm, like the regular way of the other autistic. So they require a lot of attention, right attention. But the truth and the fact is, if these people, I know for my own experience when it comes to my child, if she has a right diet and she doesn't suffer from hunger, if her room is clean, if her hygiene is taking place, instead of being in her PJs or any individual, it's so boring. She needs to be up at certain times. She needs to have nutrition breakfast. She needs to look forward for the rest of her day. Her grooming needs to be fine. Her hair needs to be brushed. Her dress needs to be clean and proper based on whether it's cold, she needs to wear warm clothes or vice versa. Unfortunately, at group home, I totally see the opposite. When it's in midst of heat and summer, say it's 90 degrees above with the humidity, my daughter, they sent her out with wool sweater or very, very warm clothes. And unlike that, in winter time, which like last night with the windshield was 15 degrees, 15 below, I was just praying that they keep her warm and her room would be warm, and they give her warm beverage, warm nutrition food, and pay attention to her and make her feel belong, make her feel welcome. This is not what I saw. This is not what I observed when it comes to Washtenaw Community Mental Health staff. I remember one time my daughter was coughing, and I was so afraid because under their care she break into bronchitis, and if they wouldn't provide appropriate care and right away doctor's attention, because she needed medical attention at that point. And I bring it to the nurse attention at Washtenaw Community Mental Health, and the response that I got was, oh no, we don't take him to a physician right away, we wait. I think this is a mistake. If any of your consumer, they are paying to be at where they are. There is a reason that they live in those places as they are. Person don't go to the hospital just because she feel like it. She needs the right attention from nurse and the doctor and so on and so forth. That's why they admit themselves to the hospital. Same rule apply for consumer at any group home or adult foster care home. Don't you ever think just because they are nonverbal, they are not able to express their feeling, you can take advantage of them. Obviously, there is no hidden camera or obvious camera. And I'm sure parents out there want very much to know what's going on behind their closed door when it comes to their loved one. But what can I say? That's the way it's supposed to be for now. And I just hope, because after all, we live in Ann Arbor, Michigan. America is #1. We do have the resources. We do have the knowledge. People like me who come in front of camera, they put 200% of their energy to just bring the social awareness to open people's eyes and parents out there. So when you see somebody autistic walking on the street or acting up in a supermarket, don't give them a dirty look. If you know anything about autism, approach them and be kind to them. If you don't know anything, save your opinion to yourself. Don't express your opinion. Don't say anything negative about them. And definitely don't look at their parent and say, can you mind your child? Because all of this happened to me. My daughter is 32 years of age, and I'm at my 62 years of age. I'm proud to have her. I love her. And as long as I can, I would do everything in my power. Like today, I would very much love if Mr. Rick Schneider, Governor Schneider, was sitting next to me, and I did every effort that humanly possibly can, but no response. I'm going to do my best to get his attention, or any neurologist or internist or psychologist or psychiatrist, and bring him in front of camera. Unfortunately, nobody from CSTS will come in front of the camera and tell the truth to the parent's face. They are all behind the closed door. They all on their payroll, and they know they are working with the county, and they are not going to be touchable. So they get away with the wrongdoing. They're the one who should supervise, who should provide service, in service they call it, proper training for staff at every group home. Be there for them and give them the proper attention if you can, so that staff have enough tool and enough knowledge and enough education so that they can help the people who are under their care. This is all I can share with you at this point, and I wish every single parent and guardian out there, including their loved one, a happy, safe, new, prosperous life for the 2015. On that note, I am going to say so long, and I will see you in near future. My name is Maria Kovari. You're going to have a website. If there is any parent out there, feel free to get in touch with Community Television Network or submit an email. I will check with them, and they will let me know, and I would be more than happy to do some research and bring an answer to you if I can. Thank you very much for watching and listening to my program. So long. Sorry.